The day I discovered my roommate, Clara, was hiding a terminal heart condition under her cheerful smile was the exact moment my entire world shifted on its axis, leaving me completely breathless and terrified of a future without her. Before we journey deeper into this deeply touching story of unexpected love, hidden pain, and unconditional support, please take a quick moment to like this video, leave a warm comment, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to our channel if you truly believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances. Our community thrives on stories that remind us of the beauty of the human spirit, and having you as part of our family means everything to us. The bright morning sun streamed through the wide kitchen windows of our small suburban apartment, casting a warm golden glow across the laminate countertops. It was a crisp, chilly autumn afternoon, the kind of day where the air carries a sharp bite despite the sun shining brilliantly in a clear blue sky. Clara and I had lived together for nearly 2 years, sharing late-morning coffees, split utility bills, and quiet laughter over burnt toast. To anyone looking in, we were just two young adults navigating the early chaos of our careers, building a comfortable routine out of shared meals and casual evening chats. I had secretly cared for Clara for months, admiring her gentle kindness, her quiet humor, and the unspoken grace she brought into every room she stepped into. Yet, I had always held my feelings back, afraid to ruin the easy, effortless harmony we had built in our quiet sanctuary. On that particular afternoon, Clara was standing by the stove, attempting to bake a batch of cinnamon rolls for a neighborhood potluck. She looked radiantly beautiful, wrapped in a heavy forest green jacket over a festive holiday sweater, her dark curls tumbling loosely over her shoulders as she stirred a bowl of sweet glaze. I was leaning against the counter beside her, wearing an oversized apron over a dark t-shirt, playfully teasing her about her chaotic baking methods while holding a wooden spoon like a fake microphone. The apartment felt safe, alive, and filled with a rare, peaceful warmth. But as the afternoon light caught the side of her face, I noticed a subtle pale shadow beneath her eyes, a fleeting moment of exhaustion that she quickly brushed away with a soft, fleeting laugh. I thought nothing of it at the time, assuming it was just the stress of her demanding job at the local library, but looking back, the signs were already there, written quietly between the lines of her gentle smiles. As the timer on the oven began to beep softly, Clara turned around to look at me, her brown eyes softening with an intense, unusual vulnerability that instantly caught me off guard. Without warning, she took a slow step forward, closing the distance between us until we were standing breath to breath in the middle of the sunlit kitchen. She looked up into my eyes, her breath catching slightly as she whispered that her hands were freezing, before gently reaching out and sliding her icy palms straight under the front of my shirt, resting them directly against the bare skin of my abdomen. The sudden contrast of her freezing skin against my body sent an unexpected shiver through me, but before I could make a light-hearted joke, I felt the unmistakable, rapid tremor in her fingers. She wasn't just cold, she was trembling uncontrollably, leaning her entire body weight against mine as if standing upright had suddenly demanded every ounce of strength she possessed. Panic instantly replaced my initial surprise as I dropped the wooden spoon onto the counter and wrapped both of my arms tightly around her shoulders, steadying her against me. I held her close, feeling the fragile flutter of her pulse through her sweater, realizing with a sinking heart that something was terribly wrong. Clara pulled back just enough to look at me, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, and finally confessed the secret she had carried in total solitude for months. She explained that she had been diagnosed with a severe structural heart defect earlier that year, a condition that restricted her circulation and caused her heart to race unexpectedly, leaving her hands perpetually cold and her body dangerously weak. She had hidden the diagnosis from everyone, including her family, because she couldn't bear the thought of being treated like a fragile vessel or having people look at her with pity instead of warmth. Hearing her confession felt like a physical blow to my chest, tearing away the comfortable illusion of our quiet life and replacing it with an overwhelming wave of protective devotion. In that single, emotion-packed moment, the silent affection I had harbored for Clara transformed into a deep, unwavering commitment to stand by her side through whatever lay ahead. I wrapped her in a thick woolen blanket, guided her gently to the sofa near the sunlit window, and made a quiet promise to myself and to her that she would never have to carry her burdens alone again. The fear of losing her was agonizing, but the thought of letting her suffer in silence was impossible to bear. We sat together for hours in the gentle afternoon warmth, talking openly for the very first time about her doctor appointments, her fears of the upcoming medical procedures, and the terrifying uncertainty of what lay ahead. Over the following weeks, our daily routine shifted dramatically as our quiet friendship bloomed into a profound, life-altering love. I began taking time off work to accompany Clara to her medical consultations at the city clinic, sitting beside her in bright, clinical waiting rooms as specialists explained the intricate details of her condition. Through every terrifying diagnostic test and daunting medical discussion, I held her cold hand in mine, blowing warm breath onto her fingers to keep them comfortable. Clara's initial resistance to receiving help gradually melted away, replaced by a deep sense of relief as she realized that accepting support did not make her weak, but rather allowed her to focus on healing. Together, we learned to navigate the heavy emotional terrain of chronic illness, finding joy in small, meaningful moments like morning walks through the sun-dappled park and quiet afternoons spent reading by the window. The real test of our strength arrived a few months later when Clara's medical team announced that a specialized, highly critical surgical procedure was necessary to repair her heart tissue before the damage became irreversible. The morning of the procedure was bathed in a soft, pale dawn light as I sat in the hospital room, holding both of her hands tightly within mine. Clara was terrified, her usual calm demeanor cracking under the immense weight of the life-threatening surgery that awaited her. Looking at her sitting on the edge of the crisp white hospital bed, looking small and vulnerable in a light blue gown, my heart broke for everything she had endured in silence. I leaned in close, resting my forehead against hers, and assured her with absolute certainty that I would be right there waiting for her when she woke up, ready to build the long, beautiful future we had spent the last few months dreaming about together. The agonizing hours spent waiting outside the operating theater felt like an eternity, each passing minute heavy with silent prayers and overwhelming anxiety. I paced the brightly lit hospital corridor, replaying every shared laugh, every quiet conversation, and that unforgettable afternoon in the kitchen when she had reached out to me for warmth. When the chief surgeon finally stepped through the double doors late that afternoon, bathed in the warm amber light of the setting sun, his tired face broke into a reassuring smile. The complex procedure had been a complete, resounding success, successfully repairing the structural defect and restoring proper blood flow throughout her body. Relief washed over me like a powerful tide, bringing tears of overwhelming gratitude to my eyes as I thanked the medical staff for giving the person I loved a real, fighting chance at a full life. When I was finally allowed into the recovery room, Clara was awake, her face flushed with a healthy, vibrant color that I had never seen before. Her skin was warm to the touch, and her eyes shone with a brilliant, clear light as she reached out to grasp my fingers the moment I walked up to her bedside. The icy chill that had defined her physical existence for so long was completely gone, replaced by the steady, strong rhythm of a fully healed heart beating strongly beneath her chest. Sitting beside her, holding her warm hand in the quiet, comforting atmosphere of the room, we shared a silence filled with immense hope, knowing that the darkest chapter of our lives was officially behind us and that a bright, unwritten future lay wide open before us. Clara's recovery over the next few months was nothing short of miraculous, filled with steady progress, renewed energy, and a vibrant joy that seemed to brighten every room she entered. We spent long afternoon hours revisiting our favorite spots in the city, holding hands openly as we walked along the sunlit riverbank without the shadow of illness looming over our steps. Clara began writing a memoir about her journey through illness and isolation, hoping to inspire others who were suffering in silence to reach out and allow love to help them heal. Our home transformed from a place of quiet survival into a sanctuary of warmth, filled with constant laughter, shared dreams, and an unshakable bond forged in the fires of vulnerability, courage, and unconditional devotion. Looking back on that unforgettable day in the kitchen, I realized that Clara sliding her freezing hands under my shirt was not just a physical reaction to the cold, but a subconscious cry for connection and a courageous leap of faith toward opening her heart to someone else. Love often enters our lives not in grand, dramatic gestures, but in vulnerable, desperate moments where we allow another person to see our deepest scars and carry our heaviest burdens alongside us. Through forgiveness of our own weaknesses, hope for tomorrow, and the courage to lean on one another, we found a profound, everlasting connection that completely reshaped our lives for the better. Before we reach the conclusion of our story today, please take a moment to reflect on the power of reaching out when you need help most. If you could share one message of hope with someone who is secretly carrying a heavy burden today, what would you say to them? Please leave your meaningful thoughts and reflections in the comments below, as your words might be the exact comfort someone in our community needs to read right now. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Thank you for being such an extraordinary part of our family, and may you always find the warmth, love, and second chances you deserve.